Right. We have around 45 participants, so we'll carry on. Now, we were talking about leadership function, and we got to know that leadership is the ability to influence people towards achieving common goals. And we learned on the leadership theories, and we learned by how a manager is different from a leader. We up to now we discussed two uh, uh, approaches to leadership, that is the trait approach to leadership and the behavioral approach. So we are here to talk about the situational or contingency approach. Situational or contingency approach. Situational, contingency. අවස්ථානුකූල පිවිසුම කියලා කියනවා මේකට. Right? This identifies factors in the situation that affect the effectiveness of a particular leadership. Now, it holds the view that leadership style which contribute well in attaining the organizational goal might vary according to the different types of situational circumstances. Now, we are living in a very dynamic environment now, a turbulent environment. We define it as like that. Environment is changing day by day. So, you can't ideally be employee-oriented or task-oriented and do your leadership function, apply your leadership function. The situation may demand a varying requirement from you. So according to the situation, your approach should vary. That's what the situational or the contingency approaches teach you. So what you have to do is you have to identify the factors in the situation that will affect the most, and according to the factors you have to act. So these can be the determinants of situational or contingency approaches to leadership. So what are the determinants? The task requirement. What kind of a task should be done in the process? What is the expectation and behavior of peers? Peers කියලා කියන්නේ එකට වැඩ කරන කට්ටිය. කියන්නේ එක level එකේ කට්ටිය. So what is their expectation? What is their behavior? And what are the characteristics, expectations and behaviors of the subordinates? How the people under you, subordinates, ඔයාගේ යටතේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය කොහොමද හැසිරෙන්නේ? එයාලගේ characteristics මොනවාද? එයාලගේ expectation මොනවාද? What is the culture of the organization? What are the policies? Right? So it depends. What is the personality of the leader? What are the past experiences and what is the expectation of the organization? And on top of everything, what is the superior's expectation and behavior? The effectiveness of the leadership depends on these things, according to the situational contingency approach. Task, peers, subordinate, organizational culture policies, leaders' personality characteristics, and superiors. They define what kind of a leadership style is appropriate for the situation. Now, I will tell you an example. I read in a book that now Microsoft software company and Apple. Now, from the words, you know that all the companies are into PCs and their softwares, right? In the same business, right? Mostly. Apple is more into innovation than Microsoft, but maybe, right? That they are core competencies and what business they are, but they are in the same field, same industry, that is computer business, software, hardware, whatever, right? And in Microsoft software, Microsoft, right, in their software engineers, like they have a, like in developing their softwares, they have a leader called Steven Sinofsky, right? Steven Sinofsky. And that leader, Stephen, is supposed to be a very meticulous one, a planner, one who is sticking to the goals, right? Very task-oriented leader. That very he has very tight plans. He works to the plan. He sticks to the plans. Likewise, Steven Sinofsky, right? That is at Microsoft company. And as you are aware, Apple is also a company which is in the same industry. And Apple also is doing the same thing. And in their Macintosh operating system, they have a leader called Bernard Serlet, right? Serlet and Sinofsky. This is popular as that. They have a leader called Bernard Serlet. And this Serlet, this person is very different from Sinofsky. He is a very employee specified, employee oriented, very light taking leader, not a hard one like Sinofsky, right? He doesn't stick to plans. He is very flexible, and he has a very kind of a laissez-faire style. So two people, right? Two leaders in the same field acting in two different ways, right? As you know, Microsoft and Apple are doing well. Both the companies, both the performance of these two workmanship seems to be same. And Sinofsky as well as Serlet, Sinofsky and Serlet, yes, Sinofsky and Serlet, both they happen to be effective leaders, right? One being a task-oriented one and the other being a very laissez-faire, employee-oriented, flexible leader. So why? What is the reason behind this situation? මේක Sinofsky කියන කෙනා Microsoft එකේ වැඩ කරන්නේ. එයා හරියම rules වලට වැඩ කරන නිකන් හරියම task වලට task විදියට වැඩ කරන නූලට තිතට වැඩ කරන කෙනෙක්. ඊට ඒ වගේම Apple company එකේ ඉන්න Serlet කියන පුද්ගලයා එයා එහෙම නෙමෙයි. එයා හරියම නම්‍යශීලී මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා අර flexible වෙලා එහෙම වැඩ කරන කෙනෙක්. නමුත් මේ දෙන්නම effective leadersලා. එහෙම වෙන්නේ ඇයි? හේතුව තමයි මේ situational නැත්නම් contingency approach to leadership. The cultures, the working environment, the task requirement, peers, subordinates, leaders' personality, supervisors' expectations, behaviors, they differ, right? Two of them, they act as per the condition, as per the situation demands. So accordingly, sorry for the disturbances. So accordingly, the leadership styles are different. So according to the leaderships, according to the environment, the situation, they act. So that is situational or contingency view of leadership. You don't know what, you can't like preliminary, you can't say this is the exact, this is the most suitable one. As per the situation demand, you have to act. And when you're talking about the situational theory, the most famous one under concern is Hersey and Blanchard situational theory. There are other theories as well, but I have taken as per your syllabus only the Hersey and Blanchard situational theory, right? This actually, this leadership theory, it says the appropriate style of behavior, the leadership behavior should be decided upon the characteristics of the followers, right? It says the appropriate leadership style should be decided upon the characteristics of followers. What is the readiness of the followers? Followers la කොච්චර දුරට followers la කොච්චර දුරට වැඩ කරන්න readyද? වැඩ කරන්න සූදානම්ද කියන දේ මත තමයි Hersey and Blanchard ගේ situational theory එක හැදලා තියෙන්නේ. Leaders can adopt one of 4 leadership styles based on a combination of relationship and task behavior. Right? Now, when it comes to readiness, මේ readiness කියන දේ follower ගේ readiness කියන දේ කාරණා දෙකක් අනුව depend වෙනවා. එකක් තමයි ableness කියන එක, අනිත් එක willingness කියන එක. ableness කියන කියන්නේ ඒ වැඩේ කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක. willingness කියන කියන්නේ කැමැති කියන එක. ඔය willingness එකයි able ability කියන දෙකෙන් තමයි තීරණය වෙන්නේ follower ගේ readiness එක. follower ගේ readiness එක මත leader එයාගේ leadership style එක වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකයි මේකෙන් කියන්නේ. Now, if the follower is unable and unwilling, follower is not competent enough to do the work and not ready and not very much like to do the work. What a leader should do, leader should give clear and specific direction. Leader should give clear and specific direction. මෙන්න මේකයි වෙන්න ඕනේ මෙහෙම වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඔයා කැමති නම් හැක කරන්න. අන්න ඒ වගේ leadership style එකක් තියෙනවා. And just imagine if the follower is unable but willing to do. Follower ට හැකියාවක් නෑ දක්ෂතාවයක් නෑ but එයා කරන්න කැමති. But the leadership style required is the leader he or she should display high task orientation and high relationship orientation as well. He should be task oriented as well as relationship oriented because the person is not able to do, so leader has to make the get done from the person. And since his willingness is there, they have to maintain, the leader has to maintain a good relationship, right, with the subordinate. And say that follower is able but not willing to do the work. Follower is able, competent to do the work, but not ready, not very much like to do the work. What the leader should do is he should be using a supportive, a participative style. Resistance to change කියන එක අපි කතා කරන්නේ participative style එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා ගන්න හැම decision එකකටම follower එකතු කරගන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට එයා ඒ දේ කරන්න කැමති වෙනවා. Supportive, participative style. Right? The fourth point is where the follower is both able and both willing. Follower is like to do the work and follower is competent enough to do the work. What the leader should take, the style is laissez-faire style. Very free style. You should empower the person to do the work and let him do like that. So this is Hersey and Blanchard's situational theory, and it is demonstrated through this diagram. This is very a bit complicated, right? So as you can see, there are 4 types of followers readiness: able and willing, able and unwilling, unable and willing, and unable and unwilling, right? That is readiness. S is what is the style of the leader. And if you draw a diagram, the relationship of behavior and task behavior, you can draw a diagram like that, right? So if there is a low task orientation and low relationship and low task, you can delegate work, right? And high task and low relationship, you can tell the people to do. High task and high relationship, you can sell the leadership style. And high relationship and low task, you can get the people to participate. Right? So this is Hersey's and Blanchard diagram, right? So accordingly, you can tell the people. What do you mean by telling is you are closely supervising and you are maintaining a low relationship with employees, but you are very autocratic. Telling. ඔයා මිනිස්සුන්ට කියලා වැඩ ගන්නවා. Telling. Right? What do you mean by selling? Selling කියලා කියන්නේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ නම්මාගෙන වැඩ කරනවා. නම්මා ගන්නවා වගේ වැඩේට. Right? මේ ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා මොකක් හරි දෙයක් කිරීම තුලින් මේ වැඩේ කරන්න කට්ටියව පොළඹවා ගන්නවා. Selling is that. That is another style of situational theory leadership style. And this is here participating. You get the employee to participate in your decision making, and accordingly you get the thing done. And you delegate when you can nicely give your work away and get the people to do the thing. That is delegating, right? These are different situational theory approaches. Now, just if you can't understand that, just stick to this one, right? So how the leader should react according to the readiness and the willingness of the follower. So this is Hersey's and Blanchard's situational theory of leadership. So we talk about the 3 approaches to leadership. One is trait, then behavior, and thirdly, the situation. There are other situation theories and as such, right? And apart from that, there are contemporary practices of leadership, right? These are so much theory, but practically what you should do is, according to the followers' readiness, you can decide on the leader's way of acting, right? So then after looking at the theoretical aspect of leadership approaches, we are looking at contemporary practices of leadership. So under contemporary practices, we talk about this charismatic leadership. What is charismatic leadership? It is an extraordinary personality to inspire and motivate employees to work beyond their normal performance, right? From your charisma, you get the people to work beyond their limits, beyond their normal performance. They act as change agents. They have a strong vision, right? This can lead to positive outcome as well as negative. Now you can see in the picture, Osama bin Laden and Martin Luther King is there. They are charismatic leaders. From the charisma, they change the entire behavior, entire soul of the followers. For example, so now Osama bin Laden, then Prabhakaran, then take now the ISIS people, right? They are very charismatic leaders. From their charisma, they act as change agent and they entirely inspire them to work beyond the normal performance level, right? It is said that they ignite the performance of the employees, right? Charismatic leadership. It is also one of the styles. It is also one of the contemporary thoughts of leadership. Then there is another style, another leadership theory called transactional leadership. So what is transactional leadership is? Transaction කියන්නේ ගනුදෙනුව. ඔය ගනුදෙනුවක් කරනවා නායකකරණයේදී. මොකද්ද? ඔයා වැඩ ටික දෙනවා, වැඩ ටික දීලා guidelines දෙනවා, goals දෙනවා, වැඩ කරන විදිය දෙනවා, ඊට පස්සේ වැඩ ගන්නවා. Transaction. Transactional leadership, it involves an exchange of relationship between leaders and followers in the direction of established goals by clarifying role and task requirement. They focus to maintain the status quo and they are oriented to enhance the present way of doing things. Now, transaction leaders are normal leaders and they do the day-to-day functions. Right? They are not going to like completely change the behavior of the followers. What they do is they get day to day things done, do engaging in a transactional leadership, right? Then there is another type of leadership called transformational leadership, right? Transformational leadership. Now this is different from transactional leadership. What transformational leadership do is they entirely transform the soul of the follower. Transformational leadership is based more on leaders shifting the values, beliefs, needs of the followers. You shift the entire value system of the follower, right? These leaders provide individualized consideration and intellectual stimulation and possesses charisma, right? They consider individually, intellectually they stimulate you, and they have a good charisma. For example, Lord Buddha, and again transformational leaders Prabhakaran, like that, right? They, right, not like a transactional relationship, they change your entire soul from top to bottom. You become a different person, right? You become a different person. Transformation leadership are there, right? Now when you're talking about charismatic leadership, now Osama bin Laden, Martin Luther King, they are like in the normal scenario. No, when you look at the corporate world, one of the top example for charismatic leadership is Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs, he is said to be a person. Uh, from his charisma, people like the managers, they are like very much very keen on adopting the principles, the characteristics of Steve Jobs, because they want to see the magic on Jobs' performance, right? It is said that Steve Jobs, the story of Steve Jobs from dropping from the college, and he again he co-founded the Apple, and he was got fired from Apple, and he again came back to the Apple, and he introduced iPad, and like changed the entire Apple culture, right? So like inspired by these stories, people consider Steve Jobs as a charismatic leader. And in a article I saw that the Harvard Business School professor saying that like when like before he died in 2011, before Steve Jobs died, this Harvard professor has mentioned that when Steve talks, people listen. When Steve talks, people listen, meaning that he has such a profound charisma which can influence people. And it says that now Steve Jobs, on top of it, on top of all these good characteristics, he's said to be a hot-tempered person who has a willful personality, and he is also impatient one. But still, it is said that in the employees of Steve Jobs, they even to like to be blamed from Steve Jobs, right? They kind of they are admiring his behavior, and they are trying, like they said to be even worshipping him, right? It's said in the books. I don't know the extent to its accuracy. Anyway, there has been a culture where like the employees of Apples, they are saying that they are telling that the stories they are telling with pride. Now, say for example, Steve Jobs go and blame someone, right? The employees of Apple, they quote that story with pride, it seems. They say that Steve Jobs yelled in my face in a very pride manner. So that is the charismatic leadership style, right? Even to be blamed by a charismatic leader, it considered to be good. Like they are very much they have a magical touch on the molding of the followers downhill. So that is charismatic, and transactional leaders are the normal leaders which we meet, and transformational leaders are again like Lord Buddha and Prabhakaran, right? So these are types of leaders which you come across. And now when you discuss all these theories, at the end, what is said by all the theories is covered from the social learning approach. What is the social learning approach? මොකද මේ සමාජ විද්‍යාපි විසුම මම හිතන්නේ සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ ඒකෙන් මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? මේකේ කියනවා it says that leadership is not only the trait theory, not only the behavioral theories, not only the situational theories. It is merely a interaction between all these three. It is the interaction between the leader, right? That is the trait approach. Then leader behavior, that is the behavioral approach, and the environment, the situation. So social learning approach says that leadership is a leadership style or leadership approach is an interaction between all these three. So that is the underpinning, right? And it is said that for a effective leader, he should have a vision. He should be inculcating trust upon people. He should have enough power. He should be a good communicator, and there can be number of things which you can identify as elements of an effective leadership. I just mentioned few, right? And I wanted to highlight some trends in contemporary leadership studies also. So anything if you could not understood up to now, you can ask before going to the trends in contemporary leadership studies. Right. If not, we'll move on. Trends in contemporary leadership studies. Now, under contemporary leadership studies, we talk about 4 things. First one is level 5 leadership. Level 5 leadership. What is this? Right? Level 5 leadership is actually a study conducted by Jim Collins on his research, and he defines this work in the book of him, Good to Great, right? He says why some companies are merely good and why some companies are great organizations. And the difference between being merely good and great organization is due to the leadership style, especially if a person can execute the level 5 leadership style, that is executive leadership style, that organization seems to be a great organization. Collins says like that. ඒ කියන්නේ Collins කියනවා එයාගේ good to great කියලා පොතක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ කියනවා ආයතනයක් හොඳ වෙන්නත් ඉතාම හොඳ වෙන්නත් හේතුව leadership style එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේකෙන් ඒ කියන්නේ leadership levels තියෙනවා. ඔයාලට පේනවා ඇති මේ level 1 2 3 4 5 කියලා. මේකේ level 5 leadership skill එක තියෙනවා නම් level 5 leaders ලා ඉන්නවා නම් ඒක ඇත්තටම මේ ඉතා හොඳ organisation එකක් වෙනවා. මේ level 5 leadership style එකේ වැදගත්කම තමයි it is characterized by an almost complete lack of ego, humility coupled with a fierce resolve that is willing to do what is best for the organization. මේ executive leadership style එකේ කිසිම ego එකක් නැහැ. මම කරන්නේ මමයි leader එහෙම කතන්දරයක් නැහැ. right? ඕනම කෙනෙක්ට කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට organization එක හදනවා මේ leaders ලා. Organization එකට වෙන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම හොඳ කරනවා. That is the level 5 leadership style. Right? So you can see 5 types of levels. One is highly capable individual. Right? Highly capable individual. That is you are contributing, you are talented and you have skills and knowledge. You are contributing to the betterment of the organization. That is one level of leadership. and you can be contributing to the organization by being a team member, right? Team member is the level 2, where you give your contribution individually and as well as you work in groups. That is level 2 of leadership. And you can be a competent manager also, that is level 3. You manage as the team members, assets, and you reach the set objectives. That is level 3 of leadership. And level 4 is effective leadership. You like stimulate the people with high standards, championship is there, dedication is there, right? Like you are vigorously performing, level 4. And level 5 is the toppest level, the executive level. You build excellence. You build excellence through dedication and humility, right? Dedication, humility, the best level, level 5. The organization are said to be very best if they are having this level 5 of leadership. And in books it says an example of a level 5 leader is Qi Lu, who has been in Microsoft. Qi Lu, Q-I-L-U, Qi Lu. Qi Lu කියලා Microsoft එකේ එක්කෙනෙක් ඉඳලා තිනවා. මෙයා level 5 leader කෙනෙක් කියලා කියනවා. මේ Qi Lu කියන එක්කෙනා එයා පොඩි තැනක ඉඳන් ඇවිල්ලා Yahoo එකේ වැඩ කළා, Microsoft එකේ වැඩ කළා තියෙන. දැන් මේ level 5 leadersලා ආයතනයක වැඩ කරනකොට එයාලට කිසිම ඊගෝ එකක් නැහැ, මොනවත් නැහැ. එයාලා ආයතන වෙනුවෙන් වැඩ කරන්නේ, එයාව highlight කරන්නේ නැහැ. එයා ආයතනෙන් ගියාට පස්සේ එයා එතන tacit knowledge එක තියලා යනවා. එයා ඒක අරන් යන්නේ. එයා නෑ කියලා ආයතනේ වැටෙන්නේ නැහැ. එන්නේ ඒ idea එකෙන්, ඒ ඊගෝ එකක් නැතිකමෙන් එයා වැඩ කරන්නේ. හරි. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයා ගියා කියලා, මේ ලීඩර් ගියා කියලා ආයතනේ වැටෙන්නේ නැහැ. එයා වගේම කට්ටිය ආයතනෙට හදලා යන්නේ. හරි. කීලෝ කියන කෙනා එයා මේ Yahoo එකේ වැඩ කරලා Microsoft එකට යන්නේ. Yahoo එකේ වැඩ කරලා Microsoft එකට යනකොට එයාගේ මේක highlight වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ යන අන්තිම දවසේ Yahoo එකේ programs වල ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවිල්ලා. එයා එදාත් රෑ 12 වෙනකන් Yahoo එකේ වැඩ කරලා තමයි ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වෙනකොටත් එයාව අර compulsory අර එයාගේ networks වලින් එයාව අයින් වෙලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් එයා ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ එයාගේ සේවකයන්ට දීලා, එයාගේ කලින් වැඩ කරපු තැන Yahoo එකේ වැඩ කරපු කට්ටියට දීලා එයා ඒ අන්තිම දවසෙත් අයින් වෙලා නේ එයා ඒ වැඩේ කරලා ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ leadersලාට අපි level 5 leadersලා කියලා කියනවා. අපිට ලංකාවේ ඒක මං හිතන්නේ මං හරි මේක මේ examples ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඔයාලා දන්නවා Ken Balendran at John Kears. Like he also had a very good style where he had this concept of 2020 teams, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2020 teams. එයා John Kears එකේ හදලා තියෙනවා මේ 2020 teams කියන සංකල්පය. ඒකෙන් තමයි දැනට John Kears එකේ ඉන්න මේ CEO සුසන්ත රත්නායක හැම බිහි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයා එතනින් ගියාට කමන්නේ නැහැ. එයා වගේම ආයතනයේ වගකීම දරන්න පුළුවන් කට්ටියක් හදනවා. followers ලා ටිකක් හදලා තමයි ආයතනෙන් යන්නේ. Right? He, without any ego, right? He do what is the best for the organization, right? Like that. That is level 5 leadership level, and so those are examples. And the organization, the contemporary organization, demand this type of a leadership. So that's what I wanted to highlight. And the next type of leadership, a contemporary one of the contemporary leadership, is servant leadership, right? Like a servant, you transcend self-interest to serve others and the organization. Like a servant, you serve the organization for the fulfillment of the subordinate goals and the realization of larger purpose of mission of their organization. Like a servant you do, and I've quoted you before, saying that General Electric CEO, a long time CEO of General Electric, the person who retired with the greatest lump sum, that is Jack Welch, he quotes as one of the MBA lectures to the students. Anytime you're managing people, your job is not about you. Anytime you're leading people, your job is not about you, it's about them, he has quoted. Meaning that if you're a leader, you have to serve for others. That's what he has highlighted there. So servant leaders are those. You lead for others, right? This is also another type of leadership, right? There are lots of examples. You can just search and see, right? And so one is Jack Welch, and there are people like that. And yes, there is another leadership style, authentic leadership, right? Authenticity is like being genuine, and you understand your like people around you are very ethical, and you are very empowering, inspiring, you are very transparent, right? As a leader, you have all these qualities and you lead, you prioritize them and lead, right? You have a passion, you have practiced solid values, you have connected relationship, has been extended in your organization, and you have a very strong self discipline, right? මෙයාලා මේ authentic leaders ලා කියලා කියන්නේ genuine leaders ලා. කොච්චර ආයතනෙට මොනවා වුණත් එයාලගේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති, එයාලගේ ethics වෙනස් කරන්නේ නැති කට්ටිය. ඔයාලට මතක ඇති Volkswagen එක එකේ අර මේ carbon emission එක අහු වුණාම එතනදී ඒකේ CEO එක පිළිගන්නවා. එයා නොදැනුවත්ව කීප දෙනෙක් ඒ වැඩේ කළා තියෙන. එයා ඒක පිළිගෙන ඒ හැම ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බ කාස් ඔක්කොම Volkswagen එකට ආය call back කරනවා. So authentic leadership style, right? And if you can remember in the first wave of COVID, this one, the leader in Italy, he has been very authentic, and in front of the public he apologizes his mistake. Authentic leadership style. So those are there, right? Those type of leaders are there. So another leadership style, right? Authenticity. And these authentic leaders, they value the personal relationship very much. It's said like that. They value the personal relationship very much. And the interactive leadership is also another style. Now this is characterized by values such as inclusion, collaboration, relationship building, and caring. Like I said, Jacinda, the New Zealand Prime Minister, she is an interactive leader because she is very much equipped with the values like inclusion, collaboration, relationship building, caring, empathy, like those, right? Although interactive leadership associated with women's style of leading, both men and women can be effective interactive leaders. Actually, it is said that interactive leaders are most of the time are the women, right? Interactive leaders la හැම වෙලෙම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කාන්තාවෝ තමයි interactive leaders ලා වෙන්නේ කියලා කියනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයාලා ගොඩාක් මේ interact කරගෙන relationship prioritize කරලා වැඩ කරන කට්ටිය. And when you talk about the gender in the leadership category, leadership field, they have, in the research, they have found that women, they score more values. They are very successful in leading when it comes to developing others, when it comes to talk about drives for results, inspiring and motivating others, inspiring and motivating others, then relationship building, they seems to be better than men, right? They are better than men in circumstances of developing others, driving for results, inspiring motivation, and building relationship. Studies වල කියනවා කාන්තාව පිරිමින්ට වඩා ඉස්සරහින් ඉන්නවලු නායකකරණයේදී අනිත් කට්ටියව ඩෙවලොප් කරන අනුගාමිකයන්ව සංවර්ධනය කිරීමේදී results කරා යෑමේදී ඒ කියන්නේ drive for results ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රතිඵල ළඟා කර ගැනීමේදී හරි inspiration and motivation ඒ කියන්නේ අභිප්‍රේරණය කරනකොට මිනිස්සුන්ව ඒ වගේම රිලේෂන්ෂිප් බිල්ඩ් කරද්දී ඔය කරුණු කාරණා හතරෙදී නමුත් රිසර්ච් වල කියනවාලු ඉනෝවේෂන් and technical professional expertise අතින් ගෑනු කට්ටිය පිරිමි කට්ටිය ලීඩර්ස්ලා ගත්තාම එක මට්ටමේ ඉන්නේ කියලා. ඒ අනුව රිසර්ච් වලට අනුව it is said that female leaders are in higher scores than male leaders. So those are researchers anyway. So these are the leadership styles, right? So we learned lots of contemporary leadership also, and it is said that always team building is like team building relationships are very much good, very much efficient when it comes to leading, right? If you can go with teams, it is said that it is better. And also I would like to mention that there are instances where the requirement of the leader is substituted or replaced, or it is neutralized, and there are circumstances where you don't need a leader to do your task, especially in the circumstances like when all the people in an organization are competent and they are professional and they know what to do. The role of a leader is neutralized there, right? Those things are also there, right? Leadership neutralization and substitution. So that is about leadership. So if you have any question, you can ask before going to the small exercise. We learned about leadership. We learned on what is leadership, implication of leadership, power and influence, and power sources and difference between leaders and managers. Then role of leaders, leadership theories, trait, behavioral, situational. Then we learned about contemporary practices of leadership, charismatic, transaction, transformational, and social learning approaches. And trends in contemporary leadership studies. Under this, we discuss about this level 5, authentic, servant, and interactive leadership. There are various approaches of leadership, theories of leadership than this. So it's like a jungle. There are lots of theories, and this is just a summary. You can read a lot. There are lots and lots of theories with regard to leadership. So what you can do is you can read all these things and take the essence of them and apply into your organization. As a leader, as a manager, you know your workplace better. You know the requirement of your workplace, right? You can study the success stories and get the inspiration and apply them according to the situation. So that is the learning, that is the takeaway from the lesson. So if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we can move into the group work. Because I have given 2 exercises to be done in the activities, and I don't want you to give take home assignment, and because you might be getting like you might be having lots of work during this pandemic too. So I don't want you all to take all these things home. So we'll do the assignment here and finish it off. Right. So if you don't have any question, you have an interesting group work to do, right? Contemplate on all the theories that we learned today and define the strategy for a better Sri Lanka, right? Get into groups. I'm going to put you into groups, giving you 20 minutes, right? Discuss what is the leadership style and the characteristic demonstrated by the current leader of Sri Lanka, and suggest strategies to overcome if there is an issue. So you know what is happening, right? I didn't find a common leader, right? I can't be giving different leaders to you. So I thought this would be ideal, right? from the theories that you learned, from the idea what is happening in the country, you try to identify what are the styles of leadership, what are the functions of leadership demonstrated by the current leadership of our country, and suggest strategies to overcome if there is an issue, right? So please pay your attention to this suggesting strategies more, and this is also very much important. 45 of you are there. I will put you into 4 groups, right? I hope you have renamed your name with the number. I will put you into 4 groups. Please discuss within your group and come. I've seen here there is one called Zoom user Vikasita Suppuli Renuka Rangana. They have not renamed themselves with numbers. Punya, Gomes, Nimesh, Lalit, Sanjeeva, Dinuka De Silva, Attanayaka, Benjamin, Dasun. Please rename your names with numbers also so that it will be easy, right? So I will be giving you 15 minutes and 5 minutes again to talk over. So I'm going to put into groups. Please discuss among yourself. I will display this work in the groups, and please come back to the work. Please lead, please contemplate on what we learned today and do the activity. So I will put in